This is All of It on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart. A new off-Broadway play travels through time, following a couple caught in a perpetual will they, won't they romance. It's called Shifters, and it's a two-hander. Destiny, Des for short, is a children's book author who left home. And my next guest, Danya Ezra, plays Dre. Dre stayed put in small-town England, is the owner of a local restaurant that fuses West and Central African cuisines. The two reconnect at the funeral for Dre's grandmother. Their lives have changed since they first met at 16. Now at 32, they're older, wiser, and are carrying the weight of everything that has happened since. New York Stage Review calls Danya Ezra's performance impressive and also says he movingly navigates the emotional twists and turns that rock Dre to his core. Shifters has been extended in New York to run through September 20th at the Cherry Lane Theater, and Daniel Ezra joins us now. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. That was impressive. That was really good.
People might remember you from All American, but you trained in theater.
I did,
And this is your first time in theater in a long time.
Very long time, yeah.
Why did it feel right to return to the theater at this time in your career?
I honestly wasn't looking to specifically return to the theater. I had just finished a TV show and starting to consider what was next, and my agent sent me this script and she said, you have to read this. She was the agent that signed me out of drama school many years ago, and so she knows me very well. And I read maybe 3 pages and kind of knew. I had just fallen in love with it, the language, the poetry of it. And yeah, it was I was really scared, which kind of was the thing that kind of made me say, okay, I have to do this, because theater is very, very tough and it's very scary in just period. But this particular play, you sorry, we don't really leave the stage. It's just 2 people. It's as hard as a play can be, outside of like musicals and things. So the fact that I was unsure about my ability to pull it off made me want to do it.
The story explores love, memory, time, identity in a very subtle manner. Yeah. Because Dre's a 32-year-old Nigerian man, British Nigerian man living in the small town. Those are the facts of his character, right? What did you tackle first with Dre when you were creating more to his character, the emotional part of his character?
So the people in his life. So because it's a two-hander, there's so many important people in this play that have an effect on both Des and Dre. As an actor, you kind of have to know who they are. You have to be able to see them in your mind and almost build a relationship, especially because they're not on stage. We know the audience isn't going to see these people. Their only access to these people is through us. And we want to make that as real as possible in your mind. And so it really started with me and us as a company sitting down with the script and just gleaning as much information about his grandma, about the other people in his life, Des's father and her mother, and all these people that clearly had such a powerful and profound effect on them. We needed to know who those people were and have a collective impression and image of who they were and what they were like. So that's kind of where I started.
You create a playlist for yourself before the show about your character?
I do, yeah.
What's on Dre's playlist?
It's a lot of Afro beats, a lot of Nigerian Afro beats, a lot of British rap music, and a lot of love songs, because he's a lover at heart.
He is a lover at heart.
Yeah.
He's a good dancer too.
Yeah. He definitely he definitely had a party phase, I think, Dre, in his 20s probably.
We mentioned that it's a two-hander. You're on stage with your partner for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
What does Shifters allow you to explore that you might not get in a larger production?
Probably the intimacy. When you have a bigger production with all the bells and whistles, it's a beautiful thing to behold from an audience perspective. But having something as stripped back as Shifters is, it kind of puts all the onus on you. And so you're really cognizant of, just the health of your voice and your body, and because the weight of the show is on us. And so it kind of made me a lot more detail oriented in terms of how I kind of approached the work and the show and how I move during the show, because all the information the audience is getting is, as I said, is from us. It's us, and there's beautiful music, beautiful lighting, and a few boxes, and that's kind of it.
But you open the boxes and all kinds of things come
And all
out.
kinds of things come out, yeah, which is just brilliant staging and direction from our wonderful director. But you have to be very precise because everything you do is telling a part of the story, and there's very little help, and so it made me a lot more precise.
It's interesting. The staging is really interesting because
Like a
you're
dance.
you're sort of surrounded by the audience. There's
Yeah.
2 rows in the back, and the rest of us are in the front of the stage. And I found myself watching people watch you.
Oh, good. Oh, that's
It was
great. Yeah.
interesting to see.
Yeah.
What does that do to your performance, knowing you have people sort of surrounding you?
So one of the big things that I got from the script when I was reading it is I remember saying to the director, I kind of want the audience to feel like it's something there's parts of this they shouldn't be watching. You know, when you're in like an airport or you're at like a family function and there's like an argument happening, you're like, oh, should we leave? I really wanted it to feel like that. And I think the staging helps that a lot. You know, when we get to the kind of very emotional moments, they're so close. It feels like almost inappropriate, and I think that's great. I love that, being able to deliver that feeling to the audience, because I think that's the best thing about theater. You know, you're in it. We want them to feel like they are a part of it, and so, you know, we address the audience sometimes. We talk directly to the audience sometimes, and that type of staging is just perfect for this type of play.
We're talking about Shifters, playing now at the Cherry Lane Theater. I'm joined by one of the actors, Daniel Ezra. Dre, we meet him at a funeral for his grandmother. We later learn in the play that she raised him. At that moment, how is he processing his grief?
He is lost. His grandmother was the person that kind of kept him tethered to the world, so to speak. She was who he went to for advice and for counseling and discipline, and she was his everything. And so when we meet Dre, he is at the beginnings of what could be a very dark downward spiral. And Des showing up is allowing him to kind of confront who he was and who he now has to be without his grandma in his life. And she kind of sparks both of those things. She was just a fundamental person, and again, we don't have an actress playing her, and so it's all just kind of told through our speech and our voice and how we react to her. And so we really put a lot of work into those moments when grandma does come up, and make sure that it's clear how deeply he loved her and how much of a wound she left not being here.
Des shows up to the funeral late, and they haven't seen each other in years. What is the first thing that your character notices about Des?
That's such a good question. I think he doesn't think she's changed. I think for him,
Interesting.
I think for him, it's like she never went anywhere. And I think one of the things we talked about in rehearsal is how easily they fall back into just their natural rhythm and banter. And I think it does happen quite easily and quite organically. And even though it has been 8 years, it doesn't feel like that for them. Very, very quickly, it stops feeling like that, which is why they get close to, it gets into dangerous territory so quickly in the play, because that familiarity and that comfort is dangerous. It's so natural for them to be around each other. And so I think for him, the first thing is, oh, she looks the same. Yeah.
People get the name of the play is from the shifts in time that you go through. Did you, as you were reading the script, did you notice any pattern in their relationship, even though it shifts from 16 to 32?
I did, yeah. One of the beautiful things, our writer, Benedict Lombe, she was very meticulous in the writing, and so you see how much they help each other through life's pivotal moments. And they do that right up until the very end. And we have these very beautiful callbacks of Dre helping her through a very, very dark moment and her helping him through. And they almost use the same stuff. We realized in rehearsal that there are certain moments that only Des saying that particular thing could have got Dre out of that, and vice versa. And if it was anyone else or any other phrase or any other sentence, it wouldn't have worked because they know each other so well. And so Bene really just found a really good way of weaving those in and reminding us that past, present, and maybe future, they still have this ability to know exactly what the other person needs.
It's pretty cool, the lighting.
Yeah.
The lighting helps us follow them through these various stages. What were your conversations like with your director and your lighting director about how to use that?
It was exactly as you said. It was about it's about allowing. We never want it to. It's a complex story, but we never want it to feel complicated, or we never want it to anyone to be pulled outside of the show by trying to figure out what was going on. And so the lights are just a really amazing way of showing the audience where we are. This, we have a present day lighting and we have a past lighting, and so we kind of know when we're past, present, and future and things like that. And so that practically was the first reason for the different lighting setups. And then we realized just how much they added to the romance of it and the beauty of it and the darkness of it, and we tried to really blend the two.
Shifters first opened in London and it came to North America. You have the same director.
Yeah.
How did she leave room for you to add to this character? Because it was someone else in London.
Tosin Cole.
Yes.
Brilliant actor. Yeah.
Yes. But you came in and actors kind of have to bring some of themselves to a part. Yeah. How did she allow that? How did you have a conversation about that? Or maybe it just happened.
It just happened because Lynette is just a wonderful. She's an actor's director at heart. Lynette Linton. Yeah. What she did is we rehearsed the play like it was a new play, and so what many other directors, because we didn't have a lot of time, what many other directors would have done is said, "This is how we did it. We did it to much acclaim and success, so we're just kind of going to slot you in and show you where to go and what to say and how to say it." She didn't do any of that. We re-broke the play. We sat down for 3 days and just went through the script line by line, and we treated it as if it had never been done before. And there was, from what I was told, a ton of new discoveries and the new things that actually they hadn't thought of or considered the last time they did it. And so I will be forever grateful for her to kind of allow that time, because she didn't have to do that. She had done it to such success already. They could have just did it that way and probably would have been fine. But she was like, no, I want to break this like this is something new for everybody. And that's how we approached it.
Part of the show explores Dre and Dez's personal traumas. Was there a particular scene that was hard for you to get right?
Yes. There's a very small moment where Dre talks about, it's basically the last thing his grandma said to him. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but yeah, it's basically it's the last thing his grandma said to him, and it's about kind of just to encourage him to kind of keep going through his pain and his grief and stuff. And that was very hard in rehearsals. It was very it brought up a lot of stuff for me that I just didn't. I was like, why is this affecting me so much? It was just it's weird. These things just happen to you as actors, where something, it's just a turn of phrase or something, just kind of, and it was I would get very emotional in rehearsals. It might have just been out of how much I just felt for this character. You know what I mean? Just there's a lot of Dre's out there that have gone through this, and a lot of Dez's out there that have gone through what she's gone through, and it might have just been an empathy thing. But I found it very hard in the beginning at rehearsals to say his grandmother's last words. Yeah, that had a profound effect for some reason.
What else did you recognize in Dre?
He's always trying to do the right thing. He one of my favorite thing about these audiences is you can kind of feel when they're on Dre's side or Dez's side.
Sometimes they're loud. New York audiences, we're a little loud.
It's very funny. You can see where I say something and they're like, especially the women will be like, absolutely not. Like, no way. And then vice versa.
That happened my night.
Yeah. It's very, very funny. But I think that underneath all of that, or on top of all of that, he is trying to do the right thing. And I think he is... he's trying to make good decisions. I think he cares about the people in his life. And even though he messes up and makes mistakes, ultimately he's always going to try and do what he thinks is right. And that's something I realized for him kind of from when he was a kid all the way to present.
We're talking to Daniel Ezra. He's in Shifters at the Cherry Lane Theater. It's been extended through September 20th. People would freak out who watch All American because he's British.
Yes.
How hard was it to form an American accent?
It's very hard. Yeah. I wish I know actors who are just parrots and can just do it. I am not one of those actors. It took time, and I basically had to ban myself from British music. I only listen to I do the playlist thing with every character, and so it was all LA hip hop and LA documentaries, and I listened to rappers and interviews and things like that. And so I had to really kind of immerse myself. Thankfully we shot in LA, so I was able to just be around LA and go to South Central LA as much as I could to just listen to people. But it took some time.
What was the hardest part of an LA accent? South Central LA.
The hardest part of South Central LA accent is probably their R's are very pronounced. So they'll say car, and the R is very strong, which is different. Even in New York, it's very different here, and same in London. And so that was a good thing for me to like latch onto. You always want to latch onto the really noticeable stuff first, and then work out the subtleties after. So that was a big one that I was like, oh, I'll grab that and I'll hold on to that. And that was a big reminder of getting in. Yeah, it was car and silence, which I always loved. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about All the Sinners Bleed.
Yeah.
It's S.A. Cosby, big fan of the show. He's been on the show. We've had him on a bunch of different times.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
You're playing alongside Nicole Bahari, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the role, about how it's filming, when we're going to see it?
Oh, yeah. I believe Q1 next year, I believe. I haven't been told anything definitive, but filming was amazing. Our writer, creator, showrunner, Joe Robert Cole, is an unbelievable writer and director, and just kind of shepherded the whole thing. It's dark. If you've read the book, you know S.A. Cosby's works. It's it's dark, it's heavy, it goes over some pretty heavy stuff, but it's done in a beautiful way. Nicole is tremendous as always. I don't know if I've seen a bad performance from her. And I play the sheriff, Chope Disaru. I play his very volatile younger brother. It's very different. It's not Spencer from All American. Spencer's like the golden boy of the family. My character is not the golden boy of the family.
That's good acting.
He's a bit of a bad boy, which was fun. Which was a lot of fun.
Until then, you can see Daniel Ezra in Shifters. It's at the Cherry Lane Theater through September 20th. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.